Today we're going to have a bit of a closer look at using Copilot, the AI agent built into Business Central. There are a few tools which exist within the system. Go and have a look at them by just going into typing in Copilot. And you'll see Copilot agent capabilities. And here you'll see some of the things which have been activated automatically. Things like payable agents, which you have to pay for, but also things like analyze list, which is what we're going to look at today. You can essentially analyze any list page within the system using Copilot. They have to specifically be turned off for once you've turned that previous page on. And so I'm going to go into a HomeBuilder page, and I'm going to go and look up the budget aspect of this. If you look in here, I went into a lot, then I went into a budget. What I actually want to do is I want to look at budgets across the whole of this phase. So I'm going to do a couple of small changes to help the system out. If you don't do this, you'll find that it just complains at you and says, hey, I can't find that field. What are you asking me? So I went into personalization. I go to this field, and I'm going to drag over the lot code and drop it over here. Click on done, and that's it. Second thing I'm going to do is release the filters. So currently it's filtered by revisions and jobs. I don't want any of that. I want to see everything. So I click on that, close it up. There's quite a bit of data here, but not tens of thousands of records, just, less than 1,000. So it's not too bad. It will take a little bit of a time to prepare. And if you've got more than this, then yeah, you kind of need to come to this with a filtered list. Well, you'll notice on the right-hand side is mine did pick up lots. It wouldn't have done, it didn't do the first time round. I did a practice run, and so it actually didn't bring this in. So make sure that you got the stuff selected on the right-hand side here that you want to have as a review. If you don't have this selected, sometimes Copilot just says, I can't find the field, even though you can clearly see it here. So just have a quick look before you go too far. Up at the top here, you've got, here's what Copilot can do. It's kind of nicer and easier to use this one down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a list from Copilot from an analysis on what's the biggest costs I've got outstanding. And if I just say what's the biggest cost outstanding, what are the biggest costs outstanding? I think it's not going to give me a great result. So I'll do it just for the sake of doing it. And you'll find that you have to be a little bit more specific. It's not horrible. It's got this amount to complete, which is good. It found that part of it. I've got a lot code. I've got a cost detail name. I guess it's not too bad. But what it's not exactly what I want. What I really want, I think, is to show me which lots have the biggest costs and which cost detail code was the biggest problem there. I can keep it or discard it. I can go up into here and I can get rid of it by just clicking delete and deleting this analysis. All of them work in the same way. I've gone back to my original analysis page. I'm going to do a better job of my request. What you'll find is if you start off in a bad request, you don't have a lot of information, you keep on pushing through, you just waste time. I find it a little better to get a good position to start and then work from there. So I'm going to give it a bit more of a specific piece of setup. I'm going to say, I want to see costs, remaining costs. It doesn't even really need the right name of the field. Remaining costs in reverse order, still showing me lots and cost detail, separate columns. I know this is a little bit specific, not quite what you would expect of an AI agent. Copilot is still not necessarily the best, but now I'm looking pretty decent here. I remember the last time I did this, it did not give me the cost detail code, which I did want to see. It's dropped the amount over to the left. I mean, I don't personally have a big problem with that, but whatever happens, I said I don't actually want to see the land, so remove the land, see if it does that. I'm not interested in those big costs. So I really want to actually focus a little bit more on construction costs. So it removed the land quite nicely. I don't want municipal fees. Clearly what I'm looking for is structure. So I've got development consulting, I've got site fees, I've got applications. I don't want any of that stuff. So I'm just going to say, just focus on structure. So I'm not telling it which fields to look at. I'm just saying, I didn't like that one. Okay, fair enough. Last time I did it, it was okay. Only show structure. See if that one works. So I have found that you do need to give it different. So that for some reason it didn't like the first one, did like the second one. But now I'm getting into stuff which I do want to see. And so now I've got a nice reverse order. I can see lot number 5, followed by 7, followed by 11, have the biggest remaining costs or amount to complete. And so I've got a fairly decent list over here. And I would suggest when you do this, use a mixture of this tool here and adding information over here like this. So I've got an amount to complete, cost to complete, happen to be the same thing. I don't need to see that. So I'm happy with this layout. Do I want to see the cost group code? Sure, hide it. So you can use these two things in conjunction with each other. And if you wish, you can just keep the analysis there and you can head back into the regular page over here. So that is a quick review of how Copilot is used within an analysis page. As I said, any list page, find the one you want, make sure you've got all the fields in there, put an appropriate filter, do some searching. Don't give up if it doesn't give you perfect information. And hopefully this helps with your reporting and analysis. Thank you.